All right, so here's the setup on US 30. One thing to always recognize, especially when you trade indices, where is the trend? Where is the overall trend? Because I feel like that's where most beginner traders mess up. They counter trend trading. Um, Counter trend trading can be very detrimental. It's easier to trade with the trend, and that's what I recommend, especially in the beginning. Trade with the trend is your friend. I feel like when you get into counter trend trades, that's a little bit more advanced, and I feel like you should grow into that, right? Other than that, take the easy layup. The easy layup is trading with the trend. The trend is your friend. Trade with the trend. So I want to go over these last two setups and I want to show you why they are A plus setups. All right. So let's start with this first one. Um, we had Wednesday high and low. On Thursday, price made a new high and it closed in breakout, right? That's initially when I was selling. I actually sold from this area because one of the setups I actually look for is price closing in the breakout because I've gotten really good at catching those reversals. So I caught this reversal because price closed at a breakout. And when you just look at it, heat was never put on these traders. So I was anticipating, price coming back to about 50% of this movement. That's kind of what was my target, 50% of this movement because we are in an uptrend. So I was just anticipating this pullback. Like I said, this is more of a advanced concept. But this buy, this was right along in lines with what I'm telling you guys. And this was the real trade. Why would you focus on taking this sell and miss out on this big buying opportunity, right? Trade with the trend. You might miss some good trades sometimes. Let them go, especially in the beginning, until you have 100 profitable trades under your belt. And when I say 100 profitable trades, I mean overall, at the end of those 100 trades, you're profitable, not that you have to win every single trade. So when this price came back down um, on US 30, right? So here was Friday, price closed. This was the first red day, right? And then we had another day where price made a new low, and then price made the final low on Tuesday, right? And when you look at it, we have one, two, this was the third push, right? Right at 50% of this original breakout leg, right? Of this initial breakout, right? It broke out of the previous highs. So price pulled it back about 50%. We had one, two, three pushes. That's trapping volume at the new low of the week, right? This is Tuesday. This is the new low of the week. We always talk about, especially in the playbook, Monday being the opening range. Tuesday, more than likely, holding a boundary of the week. And you can see that's exactly what it did. Tuesday held as the low of the week. Then you see price made a higher high on the inside, right? We had a news catalyst at the end of New York, and you could see price aggressively made a new high, telling us that there's buyers above this level, right? And then price came back to this low bear structure, grabbed liquidity for all the people that got in late, and also for the people that were moving their stop losses up. It took all that liquidity with these news candles, and then price continued in the direction of the original trend. Right. So these are the opportunities that we want to look for. These are opportunities that we want to look for. And one reason I love to use the Fibonacci sequences is because we looking for range expansions. I'm not using the traditional Fibonacci. What I did is I altered my Fibonacci to only give me 50%, but then also give me extensions of this original range. So when you look at the way I use the Fibonacci, you can see here's the initial range. Price broke out of this rectangle and it went straight to uh, this first range extension. That's what price wants to do. Once it breaks out of a box, it's going to complete a range expansion. It could be one expansion of the range. It could be two expansions of the range. It could be three expansions of the range, right? And that's what we're looking for as far as like targets. And that's how you can, especially when you're trading with the trend, you can hold some of these positions, right? And let them run, let them keep running. So fast forward to this week, I kind of want to highlight this trade that Caden took because I think it was a phenomenal trade. I feel like he followed the playbook to the T and he got a phenomenal result from that, right? Price is still making higher highs. You see, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. We also made a higher low. Price came up and broke this previous high. So as this week is finishing, right? This was Thursday. This was the previous high of the week before the new week started, right? We mark out our highs, we mark out our lows. We're in a new rectangle, right? Now that we know where we are as far as the boundaries, now we can go into the smaller time frame and get more data and find a trading opportunity, right? So you see Friday, um, I wouldn't know, it's not an inside day. I was gonna say it was an inside day, but it actually broke the previous day's high, which is telling us that price wants to continue to go higher. We're still making higher highs and higher lows, right? So when price made that higher high, this is where it gets interesting. This is where the game gets different because when you really understand how to take advantage of this, this is where you make the big money because this is where Caden got into this trade. When price made this higher high, look at these equal lows. We have equal lows. Think about the traders that got it right, right? The traders that got it right on Friday and never had any heat put on them. And that's what I talk about. Going from who's in the money to who's in the money, right? That's what price is always doing. It's always hunting the dollars. So these traders were in the money. Where do you think they put their stop loss? Under the previous low, under these lows. That's why price crept back down during um, the Asia London window. And then you could see at New York, it had that initial push to take out these lows and it traded into this low bear structure. And this is what I always talk about on where you can find the best entries, right? It crept back down. This is a perfect dump and pump setup on the day. Price traded lower. And then look at what happened right at the timing window, right? Right at the timing window. You can see right at 6:30, it traded a little higher and then it dumped down, taking out these lows. And let's zoom in a little bit so we can get a little more information. But look at these candlestick pad. Look at the candlesticks right here, right? Obviously, the bears got trapped down low and the buyers took control at this level, right? As soon as price is breaking that lower high, you can enter this trade. Why? Because there's trapped volume at the low of the week. Price is not coming back. It's not coming back. So I know Caden caught this trade. I think he even had an even better sniper entry. I believe he got in, all the way at the bottom, something like that. I know I posted it on my socials in the group feed. I can't remember because I know he didn't even catch it all the way up. But he got such a freaking sniper entry on his trade. But that was the trade setup, right? That was the trade setup. And look how price continued to run, right? And if you're looking at the closing price, it gave you another opportunity for today, right? This was yesterday, and then look at today. Look at it. It traded above closing price, and it used it as a support, making higher highs, right? And then price took off again. It's like if you're following these concepts, it's almost impossible not to be profitable. And if it's not working out for you right now, don't get discouraged. Don't get frustrated. This is the time to double down because if you're not winning successfully, I guarantee you, you are not doing a daily report card. I guarantee you, I would bet you $1,000 right now. Nobody has done a report card every day for the last 3 months and not been profitable. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. I've been doing this for over a decade. I've taught thousands of people personally, and I've never seen one person document their trades, show up consistently, and not be profitable. The thing is like most people will do it for a day, they'll do it for a week, they'll do it every now and then. That you won't get better doing that. You have to have consistency, you have to have discipline to do it when you don't feel like it. That's where you get the results. So it's really time for some self-reflection time. Yeah, I'm gonna drop this in the community for you guys. Dang, I saw you guys dropping a lot of text. I didn't even see that. Hold on, let me see. Let me read these real quick. Oh, Caden put his trade in there. Come on, Caden. Hold on, let me zoom that in. Let me zoom that in. Look at that, man. Look at that. Look at that, man. Come on, Caden. Come on, Caden. That's my dog right there. Come on, man. That should make me so excited. I swear I feel like I made $1 million today just looking at that trade and watching you execute. How do you do a report card? What do you put in it? Great question. Great question, Scott. I actually did one for you guys and I put it inside the group. I'm going to um let's see, pin it at the top to make it easier to find. Um, because I actually did it, I think last week or maybe the week before. But I always do a daily report card. That's why I'm telling you guys to do it because I know it works because it worked for me. And yeah, I was struggling hard. Oh no, that ain't it. Search money. Right? You're saying it's not in. How does it make sense? I know I put it in there. Um, I know I didn't delete it. Yeah, anyway, I don't know why it's being like that. Because I know I didn't put it in the other one, other community. But anyway, I'll just kind of go over it. For me, here, I got something that I've written out. So let me just kind of give you the same framework that I'm using on my own. Uh, for me, I like to write mine down on paper. I'm a little old school. So I do the trade analysis. That's first. So I write down what exactly did I see? Is it a pump and dump? Is it a dump and pump? Right? Because we only looking for one or two things. We only looking for a dump and pump or a pump and dump. That's it. So that's the first thing. What are we looking for? Is it a pump and dump or a dump and pump? And then for me, I like to write just a little analysis, right? So I said on this day, I said I woke up late, uh, started near the equity hour open. It traded near the weekly lows. On this day, I didn't get a setup. It's that I didn't get a setup. I kind of forced some trades. Just kind of talking about how my day went and how did I execute on that, right? And then I grade myself. Um, I like to do like 100-point grading system. I usually ask myself like 5 questions, and then that's kind of how I grade myself, giving them like 20 points apiece, right? So my trade analysis, did I actually follow my trading plan, right? Did I follow my trading plan? Two, did I follow my risk management rules? How much did I risk per trade? What was my target? Did I manipulate the trades? Right? Did I move my stop loss? You want to track all that information because when you look back at that data over time, it's going to give you a lot of quality insight. Sometimes what I've seen is I was a lot more profitable by moving my stop loss and securing profits, right? So it's like as you do these daily report cards, you're going to get data that you can implement into your trading to help you get better. Um, I also I have like solution, right? So usually when I grade myself, I'm usually tough on myself and I have a solution. So if I'm not using stop losses, if I'm not using risk management properly, I'm going to build a solution around that, right? I'm going to build like a mini system to help me do better next time. So for example, when I was really struggling with risk management, um, I wrote my risk management rules down and I taped it to my computer. And I would create like a little checklist every day, right? I had to go through those checklists before I could even enter my trade. So it's like you have to create these systems to help you become more disciplined, right? Because if you're not profitable, 9 times out of 10, it's your discipline. And that's all the report card is. So make a long story short, you definitely want to have a trade analysis where you're looking for a pump and dump or a dump and pump. Um, did you wait for a low or a high to be taken out? Just giving yourself information about the trading day so you can look back and reference that with multiple trading days. I always like to grade myself because I feel like that grading can kind of help your psychology. For me, I got frustrated when I saw myself have like multiple 60% days or a 70% week. Because for me, I'm very competitive. Like I love to be the best, and I think like 70% is not the best, right? So that motivates me to get to 80%, to get to 85%, 90% or whatnot. Consistently getting like that 1% better every day. And I feel like as long as you focus on doing that, there's no way to not be profitable with trading. Oh, he found it. There you go. That's my dog. Yep. So that's it. That was my analysis that I did a week ago, last week. But this is just kind of how I like to structure mine. I feel like this has helped me tremendously. A daily report card and then a weekly report card. And I think just doing that consistently over time, it'll help you become aware of the small mistakes that you do consistently because trading is just like business, just like football. It's a game of inches. It is a small difference between a winning trader and a losing trader. It's not a big gap. It's a very small difference. And sometimes it's so small, you can't even see it with the naked eye. That's why this report card is so important. If you're not going to do this report card, I honestly wouldn't even trade. That's how important this is. This is very, very important. I also think back testing has a lot of importance. A lot of importance. It's like getting reps. It's just like if you want to be great at catching the football, you might want to use the jugs machine before practice, after practice. You might want to get some extra catches in. You know, some of the best receivers in the league, they usually catch 200 balls every morning when they wake up. And it's the same thing with this. You want to train these habits that you're creating. You want to train your discipline and you want to get those extra reps. Because if you just wait for New York session and getting those reps in live time, that's good. But I feel like you will significantly speed up your progress if you're getting more reps. And you get those reps through back testing. So I know I just got into a straight teaching session. We didn't got away from the charts, but let's see what. Oh, it's still moving, baby. Come on. Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice, NASDAQ. Gold drop. I was looking at sale on gold too. I was just yapping. But this was a perfect setup. This was a very similar setup to the one we just took on NASDAQ. It's pretty much the same exact trade. Same exact trade. And it gave you the perfect entry opportunity right here. When it pinned those traders up, it made that new low. Then it traded back into this high bull structure. And then the bears came in. That was beautiful setup. If you were selling this on gold, same concept. We just traded on NASDAQ. Same exact concept.